Okay, we got Nevada this week. Looks like the main reason why they've been winning so much is because their defense is so good. You can see the opponent yards per game is number 1 in the country. We'll see about that. We should have pretty good effectiveness at running, but what I want to do is actually focus on the deep pass, because anytime I see plus 10 pass protection, the pass game is plus 8, and the medium and the deep ball are online in a big way. In terms of what we're up against, this is a balanced team of a quarterback who is just going to be throwing short, most likely. Because they run first, that means I'm going to try to stop the run first. We'll see how good this team really is. So we'll go for downfield passing and stop the run. We'll also take a look at recruiting before we hop into the sim. The biggest thing here, is this one new? I guess he's new. Oh yeah, okay. That action was undone, I guess. I didn't remember to redo it. So starters definitely get the playtime that we need them to. Well, starters are getting played. That's my point. What we could also do is change some of the depth chart from the injuries that we sustained last week. So Brown can come down a little bit here. And that kind of allows our depth players to get more playtime. These players only require this player just wants 15 targets and he's got 20 already. And now he's our number 1 wide receiver. So good for him. I might even just move Pollard up above Armando Brown. I think that's stupid. Let's see. Might just give this Carpenter guy the bump above Reeves. Shouldn't be a huge deal, but being in the starting 5 of the offensive line means that you now are a starter. All right, so let's sim. We'll take this kind of slow. We could for instance just sim. We missed a field goal. Huge gain by Pollard. Looks like that substitution was a good change. I'm actually curious where. So he was in the slot, and the big gain made possible by the deep ball. Our defense is definitely stopping them. Their defense is doing enough. Just kind of had the big gains go the wrong way early. I need to switch to chew clock because we were up by so much. We're able to score a field goal. We're up 24-0, 24-7. Missed field goal, interception. Who intercepted that? Jordan Foster. Still haven't seen one from the man who wants to be a legend himself. Game over. It's 31-7. This is probably going to be the most difficult competition potentially after the last 3 weeks. So we should be coasting moving forward. Brady with a $1.05 and some pretty impressive stats also by Jackson Murphy, if that's how you pronounce his name. An INT for Foster, like we called out early. Finally got some sacks too. So Daryl Clark gets his 3rd sack of the season, and then Wade, pass rusher, linebacker, also gets a sack. Cool. Against the week. The nice thing about this stretch is we're going to kind of see what a more casual player would probably do with a lot of the simming, and then making more of the Jimmy and John decisions instead of the X and O decisions like I like to do. So we got sacked the most, it looks like. Got sacked 3 times. We do have a ranked game here against UCLA. This is at UCLA, but I think I'm going to sim it anyway, so we can try to get to the postseason faster. Let's look at the commit soon. You can schedule a visit. Why haven't we done that yet? All right. So let's go by potential. We still have some players who we didn't actually know the potential of. That's my mistake. Sorting by potential, which this thing has not done yet. There we go. The one I definitely want to lock in is Lance Wood. It wouldn't be a terrible idea to also just get this kicker since we do need one. Let's remove the filters. And he's definitely our best bet. So that means what we're going to do is sort by points ahead and then remove these points ahead. So this tight end has a very favorable lead, and then so does this receiver. So now we can prioritize this kicker. Yes, we'll schedule a visit with you. And who was the other player who was about to commit soon? It was this running back. So some added depth. And those are just to lock them in early. Let's take a look at UCLA. Like I said, I thought this could be a close game. We're not favored to win by that much. Way to beat them is on the ground, which I have no problem doing, where you're favored to. And then the way to stop them, it looks, is stop the air. They're pass first. They do have a dual threat. Anytime I see a dual threat, I normally want to work on the RPO. But I think because they have a deep threat, I'm going to take away the long ball. It depends on, this guy's arm strength's really high. So I think, yeah, what I just said is exactly what I'm going to do. Focus on rushing and then limited downfield passing. Let's go ahead and play. We can actually watch the game too. And watch this on fast speed. So different ways to play the game for sure. We're just able to move the ball down the field so efficiently there. Well, it looked like we were about to stall out, but we missed a field goal. That was a give me. Our kicker, as you recall, maybe not the best kicker that we have on the team. But I promise, huge interception. Hold on. Who intercepted this? Daryl Clark, the defensive lineman. I don't know how that happened. All right, let's keep watching. We're up 14-0. Went for it on fourth and they converted. We are moving the ball like it is nothing. Huge touchdown. Man, I wish the game kind of paused when big plays happen. So, what was that big gain? We need to come down here. Armando Brown was able to catch a pass for 43 yards. This guy's running on one leg and still scoring. 21-0. Just, we are an insane team. Okay, third quarter. Missed a field goal. We need to stop attempting those unless they're just dunks. Hold up. Big play. Cameron Richmond. Back to fast. Another option to do is just to click next week, which we'll do with some of the easier teams. And I'll show you what that looks like. But if this game was able to capture better, like when big plays happen, it'd be easier to kind of react and commentate. It's like, here we go. Big play. Alert. Julius Jacobs pass from Wyatt Moore. We've got the second stringers in now. And Julius Moore, or Wyatt Moore, who is a walk-on, is out there trying to get a starting job. Fumble, huge. Who forced the fumble? Christopher Santos. So box score, Atkins threw 5 touchdowns, averaged 12 yards per throw. Flawless game. Brady ran for $113. Fisher for 127 yards. Jacobs almost with the same, or 100 yards. 2 sacks by Durant, which is nice because that's his first sack. He gets a pair. Dennis Larson with a sack. Interceptions by Clark. I don't know how the hell that happened. And then tackles for a loss. I guess notably Durant was able to get 3 of them as a pass rusher. Dominant game. I mean, this is the number 1 versus number 25, and we blow them out 45-0. Not looking good. At their home too. It's funny because like last year Brady really was not the favored running back between him and Underwood, the senior who graduated. But here it's just kind of like he's got a better O-line too, which I think definitely helps. So our tight end got injured. We'll just swap these 2 out. This guy looks like he's a better blocker with 74 overall blocking. And to tell you the truth, I don't really care for Kyan Moss. Or I don't really care for, well, I'm not really sure exactly what I'm trying to say, but yeah, good luck. Or what I meant to say is I don't really care about the tight ends. Sorry. All right, so we'll start making some moves here, just getting Raphael Pollard more targets or more game time because he wants 50%. So you can see Pollard's now in the starting lineup. And then one of the other goals that we have is to have an All-American wide receiver. So we're going to keep Cameron Richmond here at the top. He's probably not even close, though, to being that All-American. Yeah, it's definitely Brendan Fisher who's more likely to get an All-American mention. So what I might do is just swap those 2 around as we go into these easier games. I'm going to reduce Emmanuel Brady's substitution just so that he can stay fresh and give these 2 players more playtime. But I just don't want Emmanuel Brady getting injured. That's the most important thing when we go into these easier games. I think Jacob can stay standard. I only have one promise, and that's for this Carl Carpenter guy to get 60% of snaps. So by having him at number 5, he will slowly get closer to 60. So that looks good. Both these players want 40% of snaps where they're at right now. It's keeping them a healthy amount in the running there. Darryl Clark and Dan Durant probably just stay in the lineup. Yeah, I'm not going to make any changes here. I'll just reduce Darryl Clark's substitution rate to standard so that he doesn't get overworked. Same is true of Roderick Wade. Are these at 40%? They're not at 40%. So I'll just swap out Eric Blackburn for Dennis Larson. Now Larson's doing pretty well, so what I'm interested in is to see if I can make a different substitution. But I even have another promise below here. So what I want to do here. You need to be in the starting 5 in order to. You need the starting 4 actually in order to get snaps. And we're trying to target 40% for each of these players. So I think the call is kind of obvious. We're just going to keep all these players fresh, which means that Malik and Dennis Larson will get back into the rotation more often. But hopefully these will naturally grow their percentages back up. We can check on that. Just going to swap these out to standard so that there's a healthy rotation. But they want 40%, and they're getting 40% for sure. And then same with our DBs. Our kicker is injured, but he has the promise of 10 games. It's the one that went 10 for 15. I think my goal here is just to get to the 10, and then we're going to swap out Amaran Cardenas at kicker, head into the playoffs. Let's take a look at recruiting. Looks like someone went away. Tyree Sheffield is, I don't even know what this university is. Oregon. So let's look at commit soon. Sort by potential. No changes that I need to make, in my opinion. We're ahead on all of these. Hopefully we close out some of these too. We're actually behind on Randy Sellers. So we might look at what a nil deal would look like. Looks like catching up would be really difficult. We can try. So I'm just curious, like if I throw 9K, we start to 900K, sorry. We start to catch up. If I throw in a mil, then we're just starting to cover. We'll try to play it slow, but Clemson has such a big lead on us. That's because they have a defensive pitch ace that they're using. So catching up is going to be kind of difficult. We'll play it slower. Having an A-plus cornerback, though, would be nice. So I'm going to do something a little risky. Well, actually, first let's scout this team. They run first, so we'll focus on stopping the run. I just immediately saw the 55%, 6.4 yards per attempt, so I'm not really scared about this team being able to beat us. Let's take a look at the running back, because I'm more worried about the wide receivers right now being able to beat us. This running back is doing terrible, 1.7 yards per carry. So yeah, it's the wide receivers that I'm more afraid of, this deep threat specifically. So what I'm just going to do is, well, actually, how do we beat you? We beat Purdue. We can run on them for sure. We beat Purdue by running the ball. Number 125. That's terrible. Let's run the ball, like they said, and then make sure that they just don't have any big scores. So this is a different way to play the game, but I'm just going to advance weak. Yes, and so it will sim. And we just kind of fingers crossed, come back with a W. Be really upsetting if we lost. We do have substitutes in at start, or as starters. Okay, so 47 to 20. It's another way to play the game. Not really super, like not the way that I want to play the game for sure. As you can tell. Lost an O-lineman, but got defensive lineman. That's good because we need 2. Let's do commit soon. By potential. We're still minus 200 down. Clemson only did target player, so we might be able to start to catch up here. We're ahead on a lot of these, but this kicker, we should just get this kicker, honestly. So I'm just gonna go a little crazy here. That's plus 2,000. I don't need to be that crazy. Just do plus 1,000. Throw him another bone. This linebacker, I'd also like to be able to get. So let's try to get 1,000 breathing room on all of these players that we want. Still schedule a visit with a player. No offer. Sorry. These kind of players that do want large nil deals kind of scare me just because the other teams have a chance of maybe scooping them away from me. I'm just going to play catch up and give him his face value kind of deal here against PSU. You know, an offensive lineman that I took away from them is an offensive lineman that I don't have to block against or run or go up against. Let's get 5K. That's a huge swing. We might be able to get this Jimmy Christensen guy. Okay. You know, like the rest are whatever. So versus Michigan State, unranked Michigan State. Let's see. Bad defense. Worse run defense, but it shows that we're even. So I think we're going to go through the air. And we got plenty of pass protection time. So we'll go deep. And then in terms of how to stop them, look pretty balanced. What scares me the most here? Got a gunslinger, which means deep. And a decent running back who's averaging 5.8 yards a carry. We really can't let that happen. Like if you're able to every single time you touch the ball get 6 yards or even 5 yards, then that means in 2 plays you can run and get a first down. That we don't need that kind of action. So let's try to neutralize that for sure. What am I thinking here? I think I'm going to go for Jimmy. Yeah, I think I'm going for Jimmy. So we'll do downfield passing, and we'll stop the run. It does feel like a game where maybe we should have our starters in and make sure all the work rates are correct. So Brendan Fisher being that number 1. We actually have this like order. That's fine. I'm not hugely upset with like this kind of sequence. I like that. We'll just leave the tackles as is. This is Matthew Jacobs. This Matthew Jacobs pretty good. Yeah, he's pretty good. How is Whitfield doing? Not nearly as good as Matthew Jacobs. Get Ian Howard playing more. Parrish is playing well. Carpenter's playing well. Oops. But Reeves. Reeves not playing very well. If anything, it's Whitfield that's a disappointment in this lineup. And Whitfield and Reeves are the 2 disappointments. Let's keep it like that. Clark and Durant, I want you both playing as much as possible, because they're definitely shaping up to be the best on this team. And then, I don't know, we might even just do standard here. Let's let's get these starters back up here. There we go. I think this is fine. Can keep you fresh too. Okay. So we will watch. See what happens. Driving past the middle of the field. Ooh, so 2 big negative plays, but we were able to get a field goal out of that drive. Back in the middle of the field, touchdown. Fumble return for a touchdown. Hold up. I want to know who forced that fumble. Ezra Hawthorne. Not the first time, and hopefully not the last time I mentioned his name. It's come up quite a bit. Definitely a star player for us. Missed field goal. Touchdown. It's hard. Like, I don't really actually see who's making these big plays for us with the way that it moves, but at the same time, medium is too slow. Field goal. Finally got some points. 24-3 though. 4th down conversion. I wouldn't have done that in the middle of the field, but works out. So another third quarter, another 4th down conversion in the middle of the field. Touchdown. I saw that was Brown. French is getting involved here on the runs, and then Murphy pounds it in. It is 41-3. Third quarter. Interception. Hold on. Interception by who? Dennis Larson. Yeah, Larson. Senior player. Making veteran moves. It's 48-3. At their home. Forced fumble. That's by Angel Brown. I've never seen that name before. Is 55-3. Another fumble. What is going on? Zachariah Joshi. This is the second stringers in. I mean, Michigan State right now is just kind of wanting to have the game be over. Missed field goal. I think they had 3 missed field goals in this game. Not that it matters because he's got the team's only points. Interception by Eric Blackburn. Wow. The only player that looks like had a bad time is Moore, who threw for 1.2 yards per attempt on a catch. I don't even understand how this is possible unless it's using incompletes as 0, which I've never seen stats do. That's what it's doing. Interesting. And then sacks, 1 sack for 6 yards. We didn't run that effectively. Sure didn't seem that way. So I guess all of the big plays happened on offense. Over the air. It looks like Fisher just had a hell of a day. $151. On the defensive side of the ball, let's see, 2 tackles for a loss by Simpson. That's a depth player, maybe in the starting 4, but it's going to be like the 4th player. And a forced fumble by Angel Brown. Never seen this name before. And Joshi, I have seen Joshi. I think he actually might be our 3rd defensive lineman. Interception by Larson and interception by Blackburn. Blackburn had a hell of a game. 2 tackles for a loss, or 1 tackle for a loss, 1 sack, 1 interception. And I'm interested. I think he's our 3rd linebacker. We can check it out. So yeah, with the last 2 games, how they've gone, I mean, Purdue put up a better fight than Michigan State. I think Purdue was even at home. But with how the last 2 games have gone, I think we're just going to sim till the end of the season. We got 2 of our players back too, so it's just going to get harder for teams to even be competitive against us. Our next game is against 5-2 Eastern Michigan. They're 5-2. Swap this guy back out to standard. Brendan Fisher is doing so well that I think if I move him out, that is just wrong of me to do. So make this kind of move, and I might do it like this. We'll make him the number 1. I want him to be an All-American. That'd be cool. Plus, I would get a reward for it. Everyone will swap to standard. This guy's involvement is slowly becoming closer to 80. As long as he doesn't let up a sack, I don't really care. Someone let up a sack. I'm pretty sure I just saw who it was, and it's Parrish. It is what it is. I'm going to have these men be in standard. So we got Angel Brown here making the best of his start. Joshy too. I mean, these are the players that I mentioned this week. At linebacker, you got to go all the way down to number 5 in order to find Eric Blackburn. So he's the depth player, and he was able to make big plays, which is cool to see because that means that I feel more comfortable doing this kind of move. My linebackers, obviously Malik Townsend is just a better linebacker in terms of overall than the ones that are playing in front of him. So that's why I'm keeping these on fresh with the hope that Malik Townsend and Larson still get play time, but we get these guys closer to 40% in order to maintain our promises that we made to these players. Yeah, Eastern Michigan. Maybe we're putting on hard mode just because of the decisions I just made there. So here's his defensive lineman. So we're not even close that we lost. And Sellers also goes minus 400. Not even really a chance. But we do get the Reeves. And Reeves opens up a coach action for us, which is huge. So these 2 players are probably ours pretty easily, unless people start catching up somehow. And then we can just try to lock him down too. Actually, this offensive lineman is who I care more about. So let's swap. Is that true? Yeah, it's true. I feel like we have more receivers than we can actually take. That was big hitter. So we got the bonus going now. We'll start to catch up for Cole Gonzalez. Okay. Let's win this week. So this is a very strong run team. We can stop the run, as is evident with a minus 21. That is harsh. And then they've been really good at stopping the runs. So that means that we just throw because it's easy. Weird that I don't even see their running back as players to look out for. So we'll just take away the run game, and then I don't know what they're going to do after that. Let's go back here. Must not be in a very strong division. I don't actually know anything about Eastern Michigan. Could even be in our own conference. Yeah, this should just be like an absolute cakewalk and kind of silly. So focus on stopping the run. Let's watch the game. We're favored by 18. Felt like we ran quite a bit there, but that was just a nice stable drive. They're kind of driving. Not anymore. We are just cruising. I think there might have been one bad play there, or like one negative play. Start a negative play, 2 big gains, field goal, 17-0 right now. They missed the field goal. Ooh, we stalled out in the middle of the field, but the punt gives us really good field position because they stall out immediately. Touchdown, 24-0. Huge gains. We make a field goal going into the half. It's 27-0. Can't drive on our first drive after the half switch. A punt sends them in the middle of the field. We are driving, big gain, touchdown. Fourth quarter now, 34-0. So the second stringer should be in. Definitely now that we're at 37-0. Eastern Michigan is just not going to be able to score this game. Unlucky for them. Make a field goal of 40-0. Interception. I'm hoping that we see Francisco Shaw who intercepted that. So I want to check in on how Ryder's doing. Ryder Graham, our cornerback, with his Player of the Year award. Given he hasn't intercepted a pass, but he's also only been thrown to, I think, maybe 3 times. I'm curious to see where he's at. And also if the game recognizes that he just isn't getting the targets because of his ability. And then we'll probably pause after we just get through this bye week. So if we look at top performers, we can check our defensive, like strong players. Wade is a top 10 linebacker. Clark is a top 7 defensive lineman. And then, the cornerback who's supposed to be Player of the Year isn't even mentioned here. So I'm curious. We go to the depth chart. Let's see. We've got some injuries, so we'll take out this cornerback junior. How many weeks? 8 weeks? Yeah. We'll take him out. I don't even have the depth chart. I guess we'll do recruiting, and then we'll do depth chart stuff. Nice. Sort by potential. Anyone I need to give an offer to? Yep. There's a few offers here. On potential, though, we've still got big leads. Do we have any actions? We got a defensive action we can do. If I can use this on a big hitter, then I will. I can use this on a big hitter. This will help me also catch up. I might be able to get this gem player, which would be big. What about these high overall players that I still have? No, there's not really anyone I really care about here. So we'll just advance the week. And then we'll make those changes in the depth chart and the video. Probably get to the end of the regular season in the next episode. That's what I'm thinking. Tight end did come back. But yeah, I'll make that swap. And then it was our cornerback. So one thing that's nice too is it preserves, like, if he's inactive because of an injury, then he will, this will not change. This like 70% will just stay 70%. So these other cornerbacks will start getting reps. It's good for them. Yeah. I'll make you... Okay. I think it needs to be active. So this like toggle is actually important because I don't want him to be inactive. I want him to be injured. And I don't need him playing right now.